to everyone what is going on, or say hello to everyone who may have just joined us. So we are here for our live launch event of the spring 2025 cohort of your best-selling book. This is our now 8-week live course, which incorporates pre-recorded masterclass videos as well as weekly workshops in community with other high-achieving aspiring authors in order to complete and publish your book this year. And we also are launching the Story Cure. And the Story Cure is our new online community on Mighty Networks, which is a way to connect with other storytellers, to be held accountable, to get feedback, support, and encouragement, to help unheard voices get their stories out into the world this year. Whether you are writing a nonfiction book or memoir, which is what we teach in your best-selling book, or a novel, documentary film, podcast, whatever your storytelling modality may be, you are welcome in the Story Cure, and we will connect you with other people who can support you in your journey. Our next guest I am thrilled to have here is Mychal-Bella Rayne Bowman. Mychal-Bella is a rising star in Hollywood. She is a talented young actor. You may have seen her in nothing less than the Emmy Award-winning Underground Railroad, the series based on Colson Whitehead's book. Really outstanding and amazing. If you haven't seen it, check it out. She's also starred in Dead Ringers, The Gays, and Togetherness. She is a versatile actress who works across many, many, many media and modalities, and she has an incredible social media presence. Also, I want to say that I connected with Mychal-Bella in part because she is a huge philanthropist. She is really dedicated to advocating for social causes and using her platform to inspire and empower others. So welcome, Mychal-Bella.
Hi, how are you?
It's so good to see you. Thanks for being here today. So
I know, it's good to see you. Thank you for having me.
we're just going to touch base with Mychal-Bella because you also live in LA and have been impacted by the fires. And I believe school was canceled today, right?
Yeah, school has been canceled the whole week, actually. It's a lot, but thankfully we're nowhere near the fires.
Okay. So thank you for taking the time to be here in the midst of all of the chaos and craziness.
Of
So
course.
I wanted to just start by having you share a little bit of your story. What's your story and how did you end up on this path to being a star at the age of like, what, 12 when you first had a major starring role?
Well, I've been modeling ever since I was 2 and acting since I was 4, so it's just become second nature to me, something that I've always loved and enjoyed doing, especially nowadays. I feel like as I'm getting older, I kind of get to understand everything that goes behind going on set, the film, from going to the actors to the writers, producers, everything that goes into things. So I think just seeing it all kind of evolve as I evolve as a person is just really exciting.
It is so cool. So tell us what you think makes for a good or engaging story.
I think keeping stories kind of organic. And I think some stories also have to be sort of vulnerable, like you were saying earlier about the AI and how AI doesn't really have emotion. So you can tell the difference between AI stories and actual human stories. I think people being vulnerable in their stories and putting out their best foot forward, but also like giving this sense of like something that other people can relate to kind of makes a good story. And I feel like I try to use that on my social media platform. Like I feel like I use like a day in the life kind of thing. Like some posts you may see me on set, or it may be me playing basketball or hanging out with my friends, like everyday normal teenage stuff.
I think you do an amazing job of that on social media, and it must be really tricky to balance that because you do have a brand that you're promoting as an actor. So you kind of like want to show the glamour shots and the you on the, the red carpet at the award
Mm-hmm.
ceremony, but you're also, that can get really old and not fun for those of us watching it. So I
Mm-hmm.
love how you also incorporate some of your life and your personal story.
Thank you.
Um, I think Kiran had a question for you.
I always have a lot of questions for you, Michael. It's so good to see you.
Good to
Um,
see you as well.
Absolutely. It's been a little bit of time, and I'm glad that you guys are safe with the fires and all. Oof, that's crazy.
Thank you.
No, and we've been fortunate to actually work with a lot of the same people, with producers and actors. And I wanted to ask a question about the craft because one of the adages about filmmaking is like it's an art form that you get to write in terms of storytelling three times, right? You
Hmm.
write it on the script, and then on the set again when actors come alive, you write it again. And Jen knows this so well too. Then when you edit it, you write it again. And so
Hmm.
I was wondering, were there these, when you, as an actor, when you're on that set and you make certain choices that sort of took the story in a different direction because you got something on paper, you're in front of, you're talking to the director, producers, whatever, there's a vision and you get that vision, and then maybe you write it with your choices in a certain way. Like, can
Hmm.
you speak about that a bit?
I think it's just putting, I guess, understanding the backstory. And also, whenever I have a script, like I had an audition a couple days ago, I took stuff that happened to me and related it with the character inside the script. And it really helped me, like, portray and act and, like, show my emotion because I found a way to relate to it myself with things that have already happened to me. For example, I think on the Underground Railroad, also just kind of taking things and putting it on to make it look good on the screen. I think one time Barry, he had like, it was like a bunch of dialogue and then it was like going back and forth to where he would change it, keep changing it and changing it. But each way it was like still similar, but I found a way to kind of read it out differently so you could still see kind of the same emotion that came out of it, although the words were different. So I think it's just having a connection to it yourself, which helps you kind of portray it that way.
I think we also had a question from Kelsey.
Hi, Mychal-Bella.
Hi,
I'm
how are
so
you?
interested. I'm doing good, thanks. So nice to have you. I'm really interested in learning a bit more about what have been some of your favorite stories to tell from the characters you've played, and maybe what are some of those things that made you feel attached or excited to express those stories.
I would say definitely the Underground Railroad. I think because I was really young, I was 9, and the story it has like a lot of history behind it, stuff that my ancestors, my great 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 grandparents have kind of went through, and it helped me understand what happened. Like there was certain things that I didn't really know, especially because in the history books some things aren't really in there all the way. Especially, and I think I was in 5th grade, so we're not getting into like the kind of like deep history of things. So I think that kind of helped me understand what was going on. Just different stories, especially when it was based off a true story, a period piece. I think that it helps me kind of understand as a person what was going on during that time period.
Wow, I love that, especially as someone that loves history. I feel like
Yeah.
you do get to kind of explore some of those themes when you get to
Mm-hmm.
play those characters. And I feel like, yeah, the world you're in of, you know, fairy tale storytelling, it must be so
Right.
fun to jump into these characters and get to explore what that is. And I know many of us aren't actors, but that must be really, really exciting for you to do.
No, I think it is just to kind of not really be a different person, but kind of like act as someone else. It's just always really exciting because it's like so many different opportunities that you can do to change yourself. Or sometimes it'll help you understand yourself more. So I think it's just all like
Mm.
really helpful and useful to yourself, but also to the screen, of course.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm going to jump in here now too. Hi, we were just texting earlier, Michael. This is Jen. And
Hi, how are
I know
you?
we're just getting rapid fire questions at you from all angles, right?
Right.
So I have two 20-year-old daughters, and I am perpetually interested in how what they are drawn to in story and from stories that I am not, or what we've got the same or whatever. It would
Mhm.
just, different generations access stories in different ways now, different platforms, whatever it is. And so if you're up for sharing, what are some of the kinds of stories you are drawn to these days, whether it's on social media platforms or streaming shows or whatever? Like what's intriguing you and inspiring you out there story wise?
I think sometimes when stories are based off like true things that kind of like makes me more interested into it. There was this one TV show that was on Hulu. I forgot what it was called, but it was like really interesting, and I was like, "There's no way that this stuff actually happened in person." It made me kind of more interested, but also kind of like teen stuff, like stuff that is kind of happening to me and seeing it on screen, and how different other people's lives can be, stuff like that. But then also, I feel like on TikTok and Instagram, although it's like not like a full long out movie, stuff like that, but short stories, like sometimes on TikTok there'll be story times and then like multiple parts, and I keep coming back for more because I keep being interested. I think also that kind of helps, kind of having the short stories and keep like on a cliffhanger, and then I have to go back for more because I want to see more. So I think it's just things that I could relate to, or things that are kind of like leave me on a cliffhanger, like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next, stuff like that.
That totally makes sense. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that.
Of course. Thank you.
Kiran, I think you had another question for Mychal-Bella.
I did had another question because I'm always intrigued by this as well. So with any actor, um, so when you get a story and you get a script, what is it that clicks with you that says, "Oh, I can tell this story"? Like, what are you looking for? What are the things that are more sort of critical for you, both creatively or socially? Or I'll let you go on that.
I feel like when it's like, I feel like I'm able to express my emotions on camera a lot. So like maybe if there's like a crying scene or something like that, but then also just researching the story, and like especially if they give me the chance to read the whole script, I'll try to read the whole script so I can understand it more. But I think just having that extra sense of like emotion, or if there's like anger, like screaming or something like that, that kind of helps. I think that is really nice.
Nice. What's the most embarrassing choice you ever made as an actor?
Oh, just a low ball there. Just a no big deal.
I just want to
Let's ask
know.
a teenager what embarrassed her the most.
I mean, because we all make these choices in stories, right? Do
Right.
we not? Like, it's a vulnerable craft.
I think I don't even know. Sometimes I don't think this is embarrassing, but to me, like sometimes if it's like screaming or crying, like not crying, but if I have to like scream, I like to kind of hold it back because I'm like aware everyone's around me. I'm like, this is like if I don't like to look back on my tapes. I can't listen, I can't any of it. I'm like, no, don't show me that. Like I don't know. It's like for me, especially at this stage of my life, I feel like it's not embarrassing, but it's just like a little like I don't want to see that again, if that makes sense.
I hear you on that. I would love for you to just share a little bit about your philanthropic efforts and then where we can find you.
I actually started my own foundation, the Bella Rayne Foundation, which helps empowers girls of all ages. And then also I have my own skincare brand called Basics by Michael. And we kind of use that. We have a holistic approach. Anybody, all ages, unisex, anybody could really use it. And I think it really helps if someone's skin looks better, then they're feeling better inside, like confidence wise. So I think that really helps really anybody. Yeah, it's just for me personally something that I've started on my own. I think that it helps build everyone's confidence. The Bella Rayne Foundation and Basis by Michael. Basis by Michael is 4 different products. We have a cleanser, a toner, a face mask, and then a moisturizer. Kind of just your basic essentials. So it's not too much like a 12-step. No, it's just 4 steps. And I don't know, I just feel like it helps build people confidence, stuff like that, which is really necessary. When people's skin looks better, they feel better. So stuff like that. But then also outside of my own philanthropic starting things that I've created, I also work with bullying foundations, like raising awareness for certain things that most people might not know about, like issues that are happening, like AIDS with the Red Foundation, things like that. So just trying to use my platform on Instagram, social media to kind of get the word out about things and spread awareness about things that most people don't know about.
Awesome. Well, thank you. We are so appreciative of you. Where can we find you? Where's the best place to find you, Mychal-Bella?
I would say Instagram. You can find me at Mychal-Bella, Mychalbella, and that's really Mychal-Bella on all social platforms if you want to find me anywhere.
Well, thank you. Thanks for taking the time out of your school day, even though you are not physically
Not
present
in
in school today.
Thank you so much for having
To
me.
speak
Thank
with
you for
us. Yeah, we're such big fans and supporters. Thank you.